Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and the time you're watching this video, right? This is just a quick review to talk about what happened in the market this week. Well, I would say for one that it was an explosive week. Why? Because of dollars. And as we are aware, the US elections is around the corner. Today is the 31st of October. It's a Saturday. The market isn't moving, as you can see. So we're just going to talk about how the week was and how we're able to benefit from a few trades this week, and maybe even what we should be expecting against next week. Trust me, there should be some volatility in the market. Next week, in about 3 days from now, on Tuesday, 3rd of November, we have the US elections. And trust me, the whole world is paying attention for one reason or the other. One thing I'm going to say is that before you start checking on your charts, as we have in front of us, one thing is sure that you need to check on what is happening in the world. You need to pay attention by checking the news, right? You have different sources. You have like the BK Asset Management, you have the Bloomberg, you have the Forex Factory. I'm sure a lot of traders know Forex Factory. Forex Factory is very key, very big, and well, I've been using this for about 11 years now. They're about, I think, about 2008, 2009, and they haven't failed me yet when it comes to checking on the calendar based on the news coming out. If you see what we have over here for the calendar for this week, we had the daylight saving DST shift, which means that the market was going to open 1 hour after, which it did actually, right? For over here, broker that I'm using, supposed to be opening for 10, but now they open for 11 p.m. So that means that the market opens Sunday 11 p.m. and then now closes Friday 11 p.m. So you have the calendar here, and it's very key that we always check the calendar every day, every morning before you jump into the market. Find out what's going on, find out what we have coming out. Do we have any high impact news that can cause some serious volatility in the market? Find out what's going on with respect to whether it's the ECB or it's for the BOC or whatever the case might be, BOJ. What are they talking about, or what's their outlook for the week and all, right? Then also you can check the news also on Forex Factory. You have them over here. There's the tab here. Click on news. See over here they're talking about the week ahead. U.S. elections, three central banks, and non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payrolls we all know comes up the first Friday of every new month. So that should be coming up this new week. And of course, that would be after the US elections. Trust me, the US elections is very big. Of course, we've been having cases of coronavirus, which seems to be on the rise in parts of the world, in Europe, in the US. And of course, they've been having the lockdown, they've been having more restrictions. And of course, we've also been having Brexit talks, which has faded a bit because, of course, they're dealing with other things now more pressing, right? Which of course is the coronavirus. And of course, other things have been happening in the world. China, they're still there trying to do what they're trying to do. But at the end of the day, when you check on the news from here, from there, you come up and read on what's happening with respect to China. This is just a gauge based on the fundamentals and sentiment, just to have a good sentiment of the market. What is the mood of the market now? But of course, we always say that you must always pair this with what? With the technicals. So going back to the technicals, going back to the charts now, from what we have over here, just a quick one of what we had for this week. And one key thing that you would always hear me say is the trend. The trend is your friend. The market started for the week, and then we had the sideways market here on Euro USD, and then before you know it, it tanked. Right? Why did it tank? Obviously because the dollar index was appreciating. You can always use dollar as a good gauge for the other major currency pairs. And this is the dollar index here that we're seeing. Now look at it now. The dollar index was up virtually throughout the whole week this week, right? As it was up. What does that mean? That means that when you pair it with other majors, of course, it have its reverse effect on it, like the Euro USD, because the dollar is the quote or the counter currency. You can see that it dropped, and then you can see that this was a nice clean drop from here, but not so clean on some other currencies. That's why it's always key for you to pick your battles wisely. And of course, with screen time, you start to know the battles, you start to know the places of entry. This is just a review, just to tell you what happened during the week. One key thing we also say is that if you look at Euro USD and the dollar Swiss, they tend to move in opposite directions. So this could help out a lot. If you don't get an entry on Euro USD, then you should be able to get an entry on the dollar Swiss. Right now, cable, as you can see, it actually dropped. If going by what happened to the dollar this week, it actually dropped as dollar here. GBP USD is the second currency, the code counter, but you can see that this drop was not as clean as it should be. They're dealing with other things, and that's in the UK, dealing with EU on the Brexit, Corona cases, lockdown, more restrictions in the UK, especially the Aussie. Well, not as clean. The same thing with Kiwi. Aussie and Kiwi tend to move alike as well. These are just correlations that we need to take note of. The dollar yen, well, for me, it was more on the sideways movement. If you look very well, this is not a clean move, right? We had a clean move coming up from about that Tuesday period, from Tuesday, but then everything was retraced heavily, and then it said to just mess around from here. And it's always best when you pick your battles wisely. The trend is your friend. Dollar index is very key and to help you to have a clear direction, right? Dollar card, the loaning, beautiful. Now, one good thing about this card, which I actually got a trade on this as well, because I got a couple of trades. Euro USD were short, the dollar Swiss we were long, and then dollar card. I actually got a trade to go long on this, and I'll tell you why now. But I got stopped out. As I got stopped out, then it took off. Right, so of course we will still be having some little losses here and there. But the reason why I really like this dollar card, this might even be the best one that I like, even though I wasn't able to follow through, was because number one, the dollar index was up. And we all know when it comes to CAD, to the Canadian dollars, right, that has a lot to do with crude oil. Whenever the crude, CAD, they're heavily on the exporting of crude oil. So when the dollar, when the crude rather is going down, you expect the CAD to also be going down. So we had the CAD going down here, and then we had dollar going up here. So this would have been the cleanest trade out of all of them. My entry was around here. I got stopped out here, and then it took off some more, right? I think it took off for about 210 pips thereabout. It's not a problem. We still had Euro USD and USD trade that gave us good profit and covered up for it. So this week was in the green as usual, right? Right. So this is just a quick one talking about what we had this week, and of course how to look at the market. First of all, based on the uh, fundamentals, always check on the news, what's happening. Like now, we just talked about the U.S. election coming up on Tuesday. Most likely, I won't be trading until after the elections. Why? Because of the volatility. And as we're going to be having volatility with respect to the US dollar, expect expect the spread to increase, expect whipsaws, expect slippage, expect a lot of things that could obviously cause losses. It's not good for us as traders to have unnecessary losses, especially when we have the information beforehand. That's why we first of all must check on the news before we cross over to our charts, which is what we just did over here. So this was just a quick one talking about the review for this week. And this is the last day of October. I hope this month of October was a profitable one for you listening to me. If it was, great. If it wasn't, please feel free to chat me up. Let's see what we can do for you. Let's help you out. And of course, let's see how we can make some more pips coming, going into November rather. And of course, December is around the corner, and I'm sure a lot of people are waiting to get out of the year 2020. It has been a bit of a roller coaster thus far, and hopefully, we hope that nothing major happens again. We hope that we don't have the COVID-19 version 2 or something drastic that could obviously change the face of the world. But let's end this now. If you like this, don't forget to put a comment, like, and of course, subscribe. And of course, we'll bring you more videos as time progresses. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. and goodbye. Thank you.